You could lose thousands of dollars but not knowing the steps to buy your first home.
So that's what this video is about. We're going to talk about how to buy your first home in Greenville and Winterville, North Carolina, because we are Al and Victoria, local real estate agents, and we love talking about real estate on YouTube, obviously. And today we're breaking down the exact process of how you can buy your first time home step by step so we can move confidently, avoid those mistakes my husband was talking about, and make smart choices.
Exactly. Now, the first question is, before even we tap into the buying your first home, is why people really moving to Greenville or Winterville, North Carolina? No, therefore, let's say that Greenville specifically, which is the heart of the Pitt County, it has one of the fast growing and desirable city in the North Carolina, and has the population increased by 4.6%, and 74% of all moves into the city inbound to Greenville, North Carolina. Now, and also Greenville has number 11 in nation and number 3 in North Carolina for the new arrival, and this is a good reason why people wanted to come to Greenville. What is those reasons?
Well, I mean, you can talk about this one. I'll do the next.
Okay. Therefore, the first thing that we wanted to talk and is related to this video is affordable housing, which brings a long-term value for you and loved one. Of course, a steady job in healthcare, education, and manufacturing, and recently more also into the high-tech company, and also thriving community around centered East Carolina University, which is feed also to education and healthcare, because both are under umbrella of the East Carolina University. And we have a culture balance and lots of amenities that it can give you that friendly, more welcoming neighborhood that you and your loved one you can thrive and live in.
Now I'm going to talk about the housing market, and I'm just going to give you a snapshot. We're filming this video in October, so I can only talk about the current states. I can't wait, if you're watching this in the future, to talk to you about what the statistics now. But in October, median sales price was about $243,000. And price per square foot is between $158 to $178, depending on what kind of home, including new. Roughly, it's taking 39 days on the market, and homes sold this month were over 100, and prices have grown steadily since 2021. We have had constant appreciation, and we have a strong buyer activity still here. Greenville is currently a balanced, healthy market. Homes are moving steady, buyers have some negotiation, and sellers have a dependable demand. So you want to talk to me, and now we're going to talk about how to buy that first time home, which is what we promised.
Exactly. Therefore, after we sit talking about Greenville and what my wife talked about, now let's start tapping to steps.
After our introduction, let's hit it. Now tell me those first up.
Now that we came back from this short 2 milliseconds, we wanted to talk about steps of buying a home in Greenville, North Carolina. Therefore, the first step really comes from you. You need to define your goal. You need to understand what you want really in your heart. What is the location? What is the size? What is the budget and lifestyle that you wanted to have for you and your loved one? Therefore, knowing why is the most important thing, because buying a house is one of the biggest investment that you do for whole your life, and we wanted to make sure that you tap into the correct way to do that, and this clear goal give you a smoother way to reach to your goal.
In step 2, I'm going to tell you, talk to us right away, even before you get pre-approved. Why? Greenville has unique situations. Some places have higher taxes, some people have lower taxes, so there are different pricing around. Also, we understand on the back end which lenders might be good fit for you. Maybe your VA, maybe your FHA, maybe your conventional, maybe your business. We have a lot of business owners who cannot go with regular way. They have to go with people who specify in business. So when you work with us, you're partnering with a real estate agent who knows the entire city, knows every corner. We're happy to talk to you about different types of people, and we can guide you through your options, your paperwork, your negotiation, and we're always trying to be transparent. we're here to help, and I hope that comes through every single time.
Exactly. The step 3 again comes to another professional, which is lending professional or lender. And meeting the lender is really important. Why? Because you wanted to understand your true budget. You have all those wishes and desire that you say why I wanted to be a homeowner. Now you need to determine that what is your true budget is, and it's not just go with any lenders in the internet. That's why we are here. We can help you, guide you, to connect you with the lenders that have the best interest in the heart, that it can help you and guide you and knows how successfully handhold you from the time that you wanted to put the offer, which we're going to talk about later, and to get to the closing table to get those beautiful keys in your house. And this way you have a stronger offer, means you know what your budget is and you make a strong offer, and helps the process move
He's jumped
faster.
right into offer, which is step 6. But let's next step 5. Before you get into all this offer, we have to find that actual house for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can go on these websites, you can go on Zillow, you can go on Realtor.com, but I don't recommend it. Or you can look, but don't click buttons, because then they're going to connect you with 20 different people who don't have your best interest in heart. So once you get pre-approved and you know your specific numbers, now we can understand what kind of houses you need, and we get to go shopping, which is my favorite part of the process. We can do video tours if you're out of state, if you're relocating, 100%. But if you are in town, I can't wait to walk in those houses with you, and we can kind of see, because sometimes the picture can be beautiful, but the house is not beautiful. Or the other side, the pictures are dark and danky and they took awful pictures, but that house is everything you probably wanted, and it's probably even better deal because nobody else is looking at it because those pictures were bad. So don't judge a house by a picture always.
Exactly. Now we're going to jump to what I was talking about, offer or competitive offer. Of course, this is what we are, as my wife said, recording this video. We need to know what is the housing market is. This is the buyer's market, is a seller's market. This is really important to know, because that's going to affect you, because you need to know how much room negotiation we have for you. The second thing that is super important is the property disclosure. In North Carolina, of course, the seller friendly state that we need to emphasize that, and the seller tend to not pretty much
tell you anything.
And tell you anything. Therefore, that is our due diligence, which is us and you as a home buyer to do our due diligence, to do our inspection.
Well, we're going to walk the house. We can't do inspections yet.
Yes.
But we're walking the house, kind of looking for some issues. That way we can talk about it right out of the get-go.
That you are protected. Okay.
The next thing we're going to talk about is negotiation. We walked that house. We were looking at those windows looked like they're from 1975. The floor is crooked. Maybe the crawl space is bad. Negotiation is something we actually... Buyers will be out of place if you don't have a strong person on your side to negotiate for you. I was a former lawyer. I love talking about the contracts and saying, hey, what's going on with that? Contingencies, timelines, and everybody's on your side. And don't forget, the due diligence period starts once the sellers and the buyers have agreed. And once that due diligence period begins, we have a certain amount of time to do what my husband's going to talk about next, which is, of course, inspections.
Therefore, after the making offer and my wife talk about what is we should do for the negotiation and everything, the next thing is inspection and due diligence. And it's so important because scheduling an inspection with a professional inspector that is licensed in North Carolina and can go over all the structural issue, HVAC, roof, pests that we have in North Carolina. We need to be very careful. And now we need to protect your due diligence, because in North Carolina we have this due diligence that is non-refundable money, meaning that when you put that money, that must be part of the contract. You cannot skip on it, otherwise the seller is not gonna take the house out of the market and put it on the contract with us. Therefore, we need to do all due diligence to make sure in that period that is specified in your contract, we're doing everything that we do to understand about this house.
And the next thing we're talking about is while the due diligence is happening, we also have to have the appraisal happening. The lender has to confirm that the house matches the price. I do not recommend waiting until we finish inspections because we cannot negotiate twice. We have to negotiate one time. So you can't go and say, oh, this is our due diligence and oh, this is appraisal. No, it all kind of has to come together. So the appraiser, the lender is going to help you order the appraisal. We order the appraisal as soon as possible. So that way we know that this house matches from a third party that we have no control over, seller has no control over, agents have no control over, and they go there. And if the appraisal is low, that's something we're going to negotiate. If it's too high, we're going to negotiate. But basically, we're not going to negotiate if it's too high. That means woohoo, money in your pocket, buyer. But if the appraisal is low, we're definitely going to work a way to find a solution.
Exactly. Therefore, as my wife said, everything inspection and appraisal need to be. With the inspection, we work with you, and with the appraisal, definitely the lender needs to get the third party. Now, we wanted to talk about the financing and finalizing the financing. When you go under the contract, you do inspection, you do appraisal. Now, your duty is to communicate directly. It's just like a triangle. Us, lender, and you as a home buyer, to make sure everything that the lender needs for your conditional or final approval at the end of the process to be given to them, because sometimes they want your pay stub, sometimes they wanted the bank statement, depends on, are you self-employed. You need to provide all those things to make sure that we go to under those final approval part of your loan.
The next step is, of course, once you have, we've gotten that CTA, the closing disclosure, which is amazing. The lender's done with you, really, except for sending the money. We're going to do a final walkthrough of the house to make sure nothing has changed. So, the HVAC didn't break while you were, getting your finances in order. So we have to do a final walkthrough, really walk around just to make sure that the condition is the same in which you're buying it.
And all these due diligence, the things that we said, this is all before this final walkthrough. And finally, we get to the happy day, closing day, that after you did the final walkthrough, usually is going to happen the same day. Sometimes it happens a day before the walkthrough, final walkthrough. Now, in the state of North Carolina, attorney is a closing agent. You might live in other state and it might be different, but in the state of North Carolina, this is how it runs. And basically, we need to follow up all the instruction from the attorneys to make sure that what way we should be. Are we going to bring the cashier check? Do we need to wire transfer?
And then once you sign, you become a homeowner. Now, if you're a relocator and you're moving here from another state, we help people all the time from out of state because we are going to be able to do video tours for you. We can actually, we are always honest with what we see with the house and the conditions, because I can tell you when I bought my home online, they were not honest with me about a canal. So we're going to try to be honest with you about everything that you can possibly know. That way you're understanding what's happening around here. We can do virtual showings, paperwork, everything can be done online if you need it to be. That way you feel safe. And then we can also make sure that you understand all the deals as well. So if you are moving from another state and you have to be here right away at a certain time, understand we try to earn your trust. We're always here to be our local real estate agents, and we do understand the process, and we are your team and your boots on the ground.
Exactly. Therefore, if you are a first-time home buyer and local, we definitely are going to handhold you, make sure you connect with the right lender, and also make sure that you get advantage of the NC First Home Advantage down payment program that could be up to $15,000 assistance, and or USDA Section 502 that we have less actually houses right now with this program because the population of the Greenville and Winterville is growing.
But there's still some areas in the area.
But there are some houses there. And also we have more program that is coming that we're going to announce it in another video to help you with the first time.
And if you're a move-up buyer, if you have to sell your home to buy another home and it has to be coordinated, we do this all the time. We have to talk about it being very, very smart with our current housing strategy, timelines, and structure for your transition from one to the other.
Exactly. Therefore, let's connect. If you're looking to buy a home, your first home, or sell a home, or relocate to Greenville, North Carolina, we love to connect with you. Our number is 252-327-3357. Me and my wife always here for you to help you. Don't forget to look at all of our video list here, playlist, and also don't forget to subscribe in our channel, leave us comment. We love to help you with your journey.